Hello everybody, welcome to Polymer Clay TV. It's Kira, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute knitted looking ornament with a button. And I finished this off after baking with a little piece of sari ribbon that I had just lying around, and I showcased our gorgeous metallic gilding polishes. And we love these paints so much that we decided to carry them in the shop at createalong.com. They are from the UK, so they're not available in stores here in the US, but they have some wonderful properties that I will share with you. If you liked this, you will love Holiday PCA, which is 12 ornaments from 6 different teachers, and really getting into depth with some more techniques. So I hope that you will enjoy creating along with me today, and let's get started. For this simple project, we only need a few tools. So first I'm going to be using Primo Burnt Umber. I had one of those big blocks of it because I use that color a lot. My graduated set of circle cutters, really you only need one, so you'll just pick the size that you think works best for your project today. I'll probably use that one. I have something to use to make buttons. Now, I'm going to use this because it has this blank heart that I'm going to use to make a button. Any button mold will do, but I thought this conversation heart one was fun because if you wanted to make these ornaments for someone special, you have letters and you could monogram them or even write out a name or put love on it, whatever you wanted to do. But I'm going to use the blank one to make a little button. And I've got my metallic gilding polishes. This is the color Fern, and this one is Dark Cherry. So I've rolled out some clay. This is a number 3 on the pasta machine. And next thing I'm going to do is start making some snakes. So we'll be taking some nice clay that you've been warming somewhere, maybe make sure that it's nice and flexible and conditioned. And we're going to roll out snakes that are kind of long and as even as you can get them. If you have an extruder, I don't know that I would extrude these because we need them to be really flexible, and a lot of times extruded clay isn't as flexible and it wants to crack when you do a technique like this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab it approximately in the middle and I'm going to twist it. So you can easily twist by holding down one side and rolling the other. So I'm going to try to make an even twist. And then I've got my clay piece sitting off to the side waiting for me. And I'm going to start laying down these twists. So I've got this one. This is what my blade is for. I'm just going to chop that off. The secret to getting this right is that you've got to have twists that go in the opposite direction. So we'll put that aside and roll out some more. Grab it in the middle. And this time I'm going to hold down this side and twist it towards me. It's a little bit harder. You're going to get used to like doing it one way or the other. It's kind of like being left-handed or right-handed. But we're going to twist this one in the opposite direction. That's the important thing. And then we're going to put it next to the other one, and you'll see that magically it starts to look like knitting. And now since we have this piece waiting, we can put it next to here, and then we have this piece to go right next to that one. And then we still have a little bit of the other piece that can go right there. And you're just going to keep going until the area that you're going to cut out with your cutter is completely filled with the knitted pattern. Now once we've filled the space with the knitted design, just press it gently, make sure that you're all stuck down to your background really well, and then we're going to just center the cutter and cut out your shape. You can do any shape. You could do a heart, a star. You don't have to do a circle. We're going to make sure that's cut really well, and then we're going to peel off. Yeah, see, it's cold, so my cutting needs to be done again. Okay. So we'll peel off the edge. All right, and we've got this really cute knitted looking thing. So now what are we going to do to finish it off? First, I'm going to transfer it to a tile for baking, because I don't want to distort any of this design with what I'm about to do next. So we'll put this on here. And next I'm going to use my polishes, and that's because I want to be able to get my fingers all over this before I put the border around it. So I'm going to use my finger, I'm going to use the polishes before I do the baking, because these work well in the oven. And the reason that I started with the burnt umber clay is because originally I thought I would make the ornament and then antique it. But because I started with the dark brown clay, I don't have to do that. I can add my color to the surface, and I don't have to antique anything because it's already going to have the look of antiquing. Now you can be very specific about where you put your colors, or you can sort of do an all-over thing. Totally up to you where you want these colors to end up. You can use a brush, you don't have to use your finger. It's really, really personal preference. I like to use my finger when I'm applying paints and polishes and things like that, just because. And if you tap it, this paint actually does have a texture to it when it's dry. So you can sort of tap it out and let that texture show up later. And then just simply keep a paper towel around to wipe it off. Close it back up. We don't want these to dry out because they are water-based. And highly metallic, really pretty. I'm just tapping it out so that I get a little bit of that texture left behind after when it's baked. So while I am demoing these polishes, I wanted to show you some finished artwork that has them on it. These birds are part of an art piece that I'm putting in a gallery actually later today. And you can see they have multiple colors. I did this bird with the cooler colors, the teal, the purple, a little bit of that dark cherry on its head. And then this bird I did with the warmer colors. So it has the bronze and the rich red and the copper and the purple and gold, all different variations of those colors. These are gilding foils. That's not done with the polish, but this is hay bale. So you can mix and match and layer and get beautiful, beautiful results with these gilding polishes. They are just gorgeous. That's why we love them, and we decided to carry them in the shop. So to finish off the outer edge, I've rolled a thicker snake, and I'm going to wrap this around the outside here. Now, the way a lot of people finish a knitted ornament is by making another twist and wrapping it around, and then the whole thing has this twisted look. But I didn't want that for this ornament. I want the outer edge to look like a rib knit. So for that, I'm just going to press this, make sure that it's making good contact, and then I'm going to use my tool, which is a knitting needle, appropriate, and I'm going to press around the outer edge just a pattern that would look like a rib knit pattern, really. If you think about your cuffs on things like socks and sweaters and things, they have this stripe pattern to them where they alternate the knitting to give it this, what they call a rib knit. When your rib knitting is complete, you can choose where you want your hole. So I'm going to put a nice big hole here so that I can put a ribbon or string or something to hang the ornament. We need to finish it off with that button. We're going to finish off with the button, and I thought that it might be fun to bring in this teal color. So for a little contrast, so that my button isn't the same color as everything else. And so I brought out a little piece of teal clay and my ocean teal gilding polish. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. I'm just warming up my little scrap of clay here because this heart isn't very deep and doesn't take that much clay. So just mold your shape. And we'll pop that out. And for stitching, I thought this little bit of wasabi, and I'm going to make it very thin. Super thin like string, so that I can make a little X. And what I'm going to do is use my knitting needle to make some guidelines here so that I can lay this on. Get a little closer. So I'll lay this across. It's even too long. Hang on. And then you can sort of push it down and make that hole look like it's going in there. Like it's a buttonhole. And then we'll put the button on here after my final step, which is going to be highlighting that rib knit edge with this teal color, which will help bring it all together. I think that these are fantastic sort of alternate Christmas colors. Instead of red, green, and white, here we've got a little teal and a purpley red and that pretty fern color. Okay, so there's the rib knitting. Wipe that off, and here's your little heart button. And you're ready to bake. So bake that for half an hour at 275 if you're using Primo, and then you'll be all done.